46, conjunctions. I would write down, this means an and graph, okay? Conjunctions are and graphs, and I'll explain what this means as we go, all right? So a statement of two conditions, both of which must be met at the same time. So both of these have to be true. X is greater than 5 and X is less than 10, okay, at the same time. X has to be greater than 5 and less than 10, which means it's in between 5 and 10, because it has to be greater than 5 and less than 10, okay? So it's some number in between 5 and 10. The way we write these usually is we actually flip this one around, and it means the same thing. So if X is greater than 5, do you guys all agree that 5 is less than X? That means the same thing, right? X is bigger than 5, which means 5 is less than X, okay? And then we combine it into one thing. This guy's going to stay here. It's going to go like this, less than 10. So this is how we typically write a conjunction. And this says 5 is less than X is less than 10, which means X has to be in between 5 and 10, okay? X has to be some number in between 5 and 10. So draw a number line and graph the solution. So first write down negative 5 is less than X is less than or equal to 4. So at the same time, X has to be bigger than negative 5 and also less than or equal to negative 4 at the same time, which really, it just means it's in between. I would always think of it as in between these two numbers, okay? Now, negative 5, there's no line underneath, so that means we're going to do an open circle on negative 5, right? Okay, and then this one that goes up to 4 has the line underneath, which means closed circle. All right, so I'm going to do a closed circle on 4. And the solutions are all of the numbers in between. That's it, okay? Open circle, don't forget these guys are open. On negative 5, closed on 4, shade in between. Let's try another one. Draw a number line and graph the solution. Negative 7 is less than X is less than negative 2. This means that X is bigger than negative 7 and less than negative 2 at the same time. Another way I always want you to think of it is it's in between. It's in between. Negative 7, negative 2. All right, open or close circle on negative 7, you guys? Good. Open. Open or close circle on negative 2. Open, and we shade in between. Write a conjunction that describes this graph. Okay, so X is in between. If you can't read this, this is negative 3, and this is 2, right? It is in between, all right? What symbols were used on every single one of these? Yes, they are always going to be less thans when you write these, okay? Always. So you always want to do your smaller number first, and then less than X. Should I put a line underneath? No, because it's open. And then this one would be less than or equal to 2. Always less than signs, okay? This says X is less than 2, but bigger than negative 3, or it's in between those two numbers, okay? Write a conjunction that designates the numbers that are greater than or equal to negative 2 and less than 5. Now, I know it says that it's greater than or equal to negative 2. So technically that looks like this, but I want you to flip it around because we want all less than signs and we want a conjunction. Our smaller number always goes on the left. This means the same thing as that, right? If it flips the whole thing. All right, so this does say X is greater than or equal to negative 2, and it is less than 5 at the same time. So notice I use less than signs the entire time, okay? All right, you guys, let's try some white.